Hi everyone, SpiderMan 1991 here. It's time for my weekly comic book review. These comics came out November 14th, 2012. Okay, starting it off with the only IDW series I get, Star Trek Doctor Who, Assimilation, issue number 7. Alright, the Doctor and the Pawns have traveled back in time to the events of the Star Trek Next Generation episode. I think it was called, I can't remember it. Well, it was the one where Picard was assimilated into Locutus of Borg, and basically they went back, got the Borg executives' commands, returned to the present, and they were able to get the information together. So now everyone has an attack strategy. So the TARDIS trio, along with Picard, Commander Worf, and Data, used the TARDIS to make it to the cyber ship in time, because the Enterprise, even though it's a great ship, is still not fast enough to catch up with them. And they make their way onto the ship, but then they get detected, and they wind up getting separated, and both groups soon discover a whole army of Borg Cybermen ready to attack. So yeah, alright, 7 issues in, things are really starting to move along. I really do like this series. Is great because I think it captures both the essence of Star Trek: The Next Generation and Doctor Who perfectly. I mean, even when the TARDIS trio is in the past, and they do have like their little moment, one of those moments where Amy asks if they can do anything to help, and the Doctor says no. This is a fixed point. Altering it could be too catastrophic. So it has that moment. That typical moment you usually see in Doctor Who in this issue, and I liked it. This is a very great series. I do recommend this to fans of both Doctor Who and Star Trek Next Generation. I really think you'll enjoy it. And however, at this point, we only have one issue left. It's coming out next month, so I'd say at this point you should probably just wait for the trade to come out for the series. Okay, moving along. Image. Invincible number 97. Finally, we get told the origin of Bulletproof. Basically, Zandale continuing from last issue, Zandale's parents have just discovered that he's apparently bulletproof, and, well, actually, technically the new Invincible, who's formerly bulletproof. Anyways, Zandale recounts his origins. Basically, growing up, he had a twin brother, Tyrone, who was mentioned a couple of issues previous, but back when they were growing up, Zandale, they were twins. Tyrone was a smart child prodigy genius, while Zandale was more of an artistic, free spirit artist. And basically, Tyrone had an obsession with trying to get superpowers. He would study footage of superheroes and supervillains, try to figure out how to get their powers. And one night, he drugged his brother Zandale and hooked Zandale up to this machine to see whether or not it would work to give him superpowers. And the machine worked. It gave Zandale his superpowers, but Tyrone was killed by the machine's feedback, and so his brother died. And because Zandale couldn't tell his parents that his brother tried to practically kill him, and just for the pursuit of power, he decides to impersonate his brother, and while he's doing this, he kind of sees how his parents treated each one of them differently. They pretty much loved Tyrone over Zandale, and so he tells them that he used his powers in secret for a few months, but then he ultimately decided to become a superhero, become bulletproof, and told them that the reason Tyrone wasn't around is because he was busy saving the world. And so right after he recounts his origin, his parents are furious at him, and they don't believe that his brother would try to kill him. They think that he actually intentionally killed his brother, and they're getting ready to call the cops. But eventually, Carla, Zandale's girlfriend, hit Zandale's mom with a frying pan, let's just say some actions people are reacting too well to anger, and it unfortunately results with the unintentional death of Zandale's parents. First, Carla, Zandale's girlfriend, hits his mom, and that with a frying pan, and the blow unfortunately kills her. Then Zandale's dad tries to kill Carla, but then Zandale pulls his dad off, but that kills him. And so they basically Zandale takes their bodies, puts them in a car, throws it off a cliff, and makes it look like they died in a car crash. But even after the funeral, it's obviously this is still haunting both Zandale and his girlfriend. But moving away from this very, very dark part of the story, we see Mark Grayson and Eve attending a comic book convention where Mark talks to the creator of Science Dog, and then later that night when they get back home, they are about to, let's say, consummate their relationship when suddenly Mark discovers he has his powers back. Yay! So yeah, this was a great issue. Great lead up to issue 100. I really am happy that we finally do have the origin of Bulletproof, especially since he took on Invincible's identity. And, well, all I can say is it's really dark. I mean, really wasn't what I was expecting, but man, it was just... What happened to Zandale was, like, really, really dark. And his parents... I don't think they deserve to die, but my basic opinion is they are jerks, okay? I mean, they obviously held one son higher than the other, and yeah, of course, because he's the genius, and they obviously neglected him, but, and by him I mean Zandale, but, I mean, come on, he's saving the world, and they think that seriously, it's just, I mean, maybe it was the shock learning that their son was dead, but the fact that they couldn't even trust their other son was just, I don't know, it's sad, really, and, I really feel bad for Zandale in this, especially now, but, and on the other hand, I am happy that Mark has his powers back, and it is funny how he discovers that he gets it back, but, so, this issue was kind of a nice little balance between the light stuff you expect in a story and some dark stuff. Very nice. If you are not reading Invincible, I would highly recommend you read this series. Cannot wait for issue 100. It's going to be great. Alright, now for DC Comics. Superboy, number 14. Con-El meets Hell. So, basically in New York City, when Connor's walking with Bunker back to the penthouse where the Teen Titans are, Hell appears and he fights Connor. Then Bunker calls on the rest of the Teen Titans to help fight them, and apparently that's not good enough. And Hell is able to hold his own against the Titans and escape with Con-El. Yeah, that's pretty much that's the lead into the Hell on Earth crossover, which is going to cross over with Supergirl and Superman over the next few months. Well, it's not really a bad crossover. I mean, this is actually the first, I think, full appearance we're actually getting of the villain in this, Hell. I'm not so sure if I'm saying his name right, but that's obviously what I see it as. I'm pronouncing it as I read it, but we got the full appearance of the antagonist in this, Hell. Basically, what Hell is trying to do is try to restore Krypton, and we do get a taste of what and he's not your average Kryptonian. He does. It looks like he has a form of tactile telekinesis in this. I mean, he's almost able to rip Superboy apart molecule by molecule. But yeah, and he does seem pretty powerful, so it makes sense why all three Superman family members are gonna have to team up with this. And yeah, pretty much. And another thing I want to talk about with Superboy is that this book, the last issue and this issue, it's very crossover heavy. Okay, it really is, because I mean, in the first few pages of this thing, it just pretty much recaps that, oh hey, Superboy was in a couple of issues of Ravengers, and he was also in a couple of issues of Legion Lost. And apparently, so like, what the hell? And also, this issue does take place right after the conclusion of the whole Wonder Girl story arc that's going on in Teen Titans right now. And there's a little bit of references. Oh yeah, and also Red Robin doesn't make an appearance in this because he's in Gotham. Again, reference to Death in the Family. That's not going to... So, I don't really want to say it's confusing. I mean, you'll pick it up, but, for now, though, it seems like the Superboy book is really more involved with crossovers rather than focusing on Superboy itself. And I hope that kind of ends after Hell on Earth, and Superboy can just, have his own stories develop for a while. For a while after that, after all these crossovers with him. But my opinion on the Hell on Earth crossover, it looks pretty great. I can't wait for Supergirl. I'm getting Supergirl for solely this crossover only. That large buzzing sound a few minutes ago was my dryer. Ignoring that. Superboy. Well, with Hell on Earth crossover, it looks good. I'd recommend fans of Superboy and Superman to check it out, if possible. Alright, now for something even better, and something I really look forward to all week, Batman number 14. If you don't want any spoilers, please skip this portion of the review. Alright, well, basically, Batman returns to the Batcave after escaping his little death trap from last issue. And when he gets back, he discovers that the Joker has taken Alfred. And also from the clue the Joker left... Also, the clue left from Joker's message, he figures that Joker's going after Jim Gordon next. So, Batman confronts Gordon about this, and then suddenly Jim Gordon starts bleeding excessively, and Batman takes him to a hospital. And after Jim Gordon is in the hospital, Batman goes and finally confronts the Joker, who meets him at this bridge. And Joker is really amping up his game in this story arc. He really is, because when Batman and Joker do have their little conversation, Joker reveals that he doesn't just know Batman's secret identity, but he also knows all the other members of the Bat family, like Nightwing, Red Robin, Red Hood, Robin, Batgirl, all of them. And now he says that, and now he sort of reveals to Batman his big plan in this, and that is that he wants things to go back to the way they were in the beginning, just him and Batman. So now he wants to get rid of all the other members of the Bat family because, in Joker's opinion, they've made him weak. Yeah. So, Joker amping up his game in this. This is one of the best Batman stories I've read in years. And 2 issues in, and I already think this is better than the Court of Owls, okay? I mean, this is probably Scott Snyder's best work on Batman so far. And I don't just mean Court of Owls, I also mean like way back when he started with Detective Comics, before the relaunch. This is really an amazing story. If you are not reading this for whatever reason, pick this up, as well as go back, check out your local comic book shop, or go online, eBay or something, and find Batman number 13, and start reading this story, because it is amazing. I'm pretty sure everyone who reads this is going to recommend it. Alright, now for Marvel. Venom number 27, aka Minimum Carnage, Part 5. Alright, the symbiote army is created, and they're all in tune with Carnage, so Carnage basically controls them. Alright, so Venom is trying to take on... So Venom pretty much is trying to fight the symbiote army and Carnage by himself. Then Scarlet Spider shows up to help him out, but then suddenly the Carnage and the army escape into the Macroverse. However, they're still at microscopic size when they get back, and it's shown that... And apparently when they do get back, I mean pretty much once they leave, Scarlet Spider and Venom were kind of like, wait, where are they now? And then suddenly we cut back to Houston, Texas, and we see a ton of people who have just collapsed, and we zoom in on some guy's skin, and we see the microscopic symbiote army and Carnage causing chaos. So pretty much Carnage has gone into biological warfare. Venom number 27. Not bad. I mean, I'm enjoying Minimum Carnage. It's pretty great. I wouldn't say like it's Death in the Family. I'm saying I'm enjoying it, but maybe not as much as I'm enjoying Death in the Family. But still, it's very good. I would definitely recommend this to Carnage fans. Still, this is a story I'd recommend to Carnage fans. Now, how are Venom and Scarlet Spider going to get back to the Macroverse in time so that they can stop Carnage and his army? Because that's going to be hard. All right, now picking up with a new Marvel Now book, Thor: God of Thunder #1. All right, this is a very interesting story. This is a very not your typical Thor story because it's told from three. This is a story that kind of has three different parts to it. One part features Thor in the past, which is like he's young, before he has the hammer. Before he has his hammer, he's kind of living in Ireland, and back when people actually did believe in God, believe in gods and stuff. And also we have the second part or setting is Thor in the present. It's the Thor we all know from Marvel Comics. He's the hero, the Avenger, stuff like that. And then we cut to Thor of the future, who's basically the last god in Asgard, and he looks a lot like Odin, except something happened to his left arm. It's gone, so he replaced it with the arm of the Destroyer. Looks kind of badass. What do all three of these points have in common? Each one is Thor discovering a creature known as Gore, the God Butcher, who is this being that can kill gods or butcher them, because it's pretty much each story pretty much involves, well, the first two, the past and present Thor, both find like butchered remains and corpses of gods, and that pretty much leads them to think that there's someone who's butchering gods. I gotta find out who this is. While Thor of the future, he's basically the last god in Asgard, and suddenly it's the God Butcher himself who attacks Asgard. Okay, well, this is a very interesting story. It's very nice. It's definitely well written, because I do like Thor's monologue, and this is very well written. It's written by Jason Aaron too, who wrote Wolverine and the X-Men and X-Men Schism. Very great guy. Still, I am curious about what all three of these stories will have in common. Obviously, Thor of the past isn't going to defeat the God Butcher because he comes back to deal with Thor of the present. But Thor of the future, though, future always changes, so we don't know if that's going to be absolute or not. But still, Thor: God of Thunder #1 is a great series. If you love Thor, you should definitely pick this up. It's great. It really is. It's off to a great start, I think. Very sort of new concept with three different versions of three different points in Thor's timeline, having sort of a common adventure here. Okay, moving on. Okay, final book, Amazing Spider-Man 697. Peter Parker and Max Modell are able to make it to Norman Osborn's secret stash/secret base, and when they get in there, Peter and Max modify one of the Goblin gliders into the Spider glider, which you see on the cover, and also this is a really funny thing. Peter says he's gonna draw one of the fire of the hobgoblins away so that Max can escape, because also the hobgoblins reveal that Roger Kingsley set the glider that was going to kill. That there's a glider that could kill Nora Winters if things got, in case he could use that as blackmail against the newer hobgoblin Phil Urch. And so basically Spider-Man says that, okay, look, I'll draw their fire. I'm sorry. Peter says to Max that he'll draw their fire away so that Max can go and save Nora. And when Max asks how is he going to do this, Peter takes one of the Spider-Man costumes off of one of Norman Osborn's test dummies. It's funny. You see, obviously, there's some targets that look like Spider-Man's, because, it's Norman Osborn's base, obviously. And so he takes one of the costumes off the dummies, and while this is going on, the Kingpin and Tiberius Stone figure out a way to reactivate the main Spider Sense jammer. But here's the interesting thing: Peter's able to suck it up and power through. He's able to suck up the pain and just get ready to kick some hobgoblin ass. So And so as Max leaves out of a back entrance, Spidey goes out the front way with his new glider and some goblin bombs, and gets ready to take on the two hobgoblins. And also the base self-destruct. They had the base self-destruct after both of them left. So Spider-Man is able to take on both hobgoblins and buy enough time for Max to save Nora Winters. So after Nora's saved, Spidey, and this is the funny thing, Spidey doesn't even stay for the full fight. He just basically goes, "Okay, Nora's safe. I'm out of here. Later." So Spider-Man leaves so that he can go and destroy also the other Spider-Sense jammers that the Kingpin set up around New York City. And after Spidey leaves, Roger Kingsley makes a deal with Phil Urch that Urch can continue being the Hobgoblin if he pays Kingsley about 10% of what he makes. And so basically Spider-Man goes meets up with Max Modell and checks to see if Nora's safe and everything. And then goes off to try to destroy the other jammers. But later it's revealed that Roger Kingsley has been sort of franchising supervillain identities across the globe. It's pretty much what he did with the Hobgoblin here in New York. Is that now basically Kingsley is trying to take old supervillain identities, reinvent them, and then find someone else to take on the position for him so that he can make some money, so that person can make some money, and so can he. And also, last page of this book reveals that someone wakes up a Spider-Man, sort of a Spider-Man supporting character, has woken up from their coma, and it isn't Madam Web. So yeah, the last page of this book was definitely a surprise to me, and I am really looking forward to the last Amazing Spider-Man story arc. Seriously, this is why I'm not worried about Superior Spider-Man, because Dan Slott is amazing, okay? God, so in conclusion, Amazing Spider-Man, awesome, definitely worth picking this up. And again, I'm kind of at a law, stuck on two crossroads here, because I think both of these are comic books of the week, okay? Both of them, it's a tie, but yeah, Marvel Comic of the Week, DC Comic of the Week. Both amazing. Love them, they were good, they were great. Okay, well, that's it. Here's the quick recap. Amazing Spider-Man. Nice conclusion to the two Hobgoblin story arc. Can't wait for the last 3 issues until everything concludes with 700. Thor, God of Thunder, #1. Very interesting story arc set up with the 3 different Thors. Can't wait to read the rest of it. Venom, #27. Minimum Carnage continues. Now Carnage is small, but has an entire army of himself. Batman, #14. The Joker is back. He's amped up his game. He's more deadly than ever. Definitely check this out. Superboy, #14. Pretty much only get this if you're going to read Hell on Earth. Invincible, #97. Very dark. A lot of dark stuff happens to Zandale, but good stuff happens to Mark. And Star Trek Doctor Who Assimilation. Very great. Fans of Star Trek Next Generation and Doctor Who should enjoy this series. Alright, that's it. One more reminder, next week there won't be a comic review due to the Thanksgiving holidays. Also, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.